You know, I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys, the Indiana Pacers have been one of the very few teams across the entire NBA that we have actually not discussed yet, strictly due to the fact that they have been almost nothing but a ticking time bomb for the majority of this season, waiting for them to hit the reset button. But now, in the blink of an eye, the Indiana Pacers have now turned into one of the only teams I actually want to talk about, and of course this is for one reason and one reason only, and it is none other than this man right here, Tyrese Haliburton. Because I am very confident when I say it is not just myself that thinks Tyrese Haliburton is one of the more underappreciated rising superstars, and yes, I mean it when I say that, rising superstars in the game today. And I know the Pacers are in rebuild mode right now, so they probably won't be making any major noise, at least anytime soon, but the many ways in which this one trade has just drastically changed the future of the Indiana Pacers organization is honestly, in my eyes, not being talked about enough, so we need to dive into this a little bit further. One sec, if you haven't yet, don't forget to like the video if you do enjoy, subscribe, and turn on those noties to never miss another NBA video. Love you guys. And for those of you that haven't yet, I am highly encouraging you to do so, because according to my numbers, over 95% of you guys coming back to watch the content haven't even subscribed yet. So for any of you that do, I appreciate you, thank you so much. But anyway, we need to get back to this trade. And I know that most of you have probably already seen all of the parameters of this trade and what it includes, but I still need to reiterate the fact that the entire NBA world has that this was literally 100% highway robbery. And when I say this, believe me, it is in no way discrediting Domantas Sabonis and what he can do, because believe me, he is a very solid player as well. But I seriously cannot remember the last time I saw an NBA organization fumble the bag as much as the Sacramento Kings just did. And for any of you Indy fans watching, yes, it is okay to freak out and even cry a little bit, because I think I can speak for the entire NBA world that you 100% hit the jackpot with this seamless fit of Tyrese into the Pacers, and let's get into why this is. Because for anyone watching this video who really doesn't know who Tyrese Haliburton is or how he plays, which I wouldn't even be surprised at all with him being on the Sacramento Kings, but I will tell you right here and right now that at just 21 years old, he is already very clearly going to be a franchise player. And even though in his time in Sacramento, he only put up averages of around 14 points, 4 rebounds, and 7.5 assists per game, while also shooting a very impressive 41% from 3, may we add in. All of you that do know Tyrese watching this video know that core averages are not everything, and that these averages do not do it justice when we're talking about how truly effective of a player Tyrese is. Because already when looking into some of the strongest areas of his game thus far, he seriously does things out there on the court that someone at his age should not be able to or know how to do. And just for a quick example, let's look into how efficient of a shooter he has been just a year and a half into his career. Because as we mentioned earlier, he is not just an efficient three-point shooter, but he is a flat-out 3-level scorer. As for some of the ridiculous stats he has in the league, he ranks 6th overall in jump shot efficiency with a minimum of 300 attempts per players. He is also 2nd in three-point percentage off the dribble with a minimum of 100 attempts, and to top it off, which may be the craziest, he shoots over 42% on catch and shoot threes. May I remind you, this is not Stephen Curry we're talking about, but it is in fact a 21-year-old, who I will reiterate again is a future superstar. And you want to know what the craziest thing about his shooting is? It's that it's not even the best asset in his game, because that is solely reserved for his playmaking ability. And for those of you watching that also watched your fair share of Tyrese Haliburton when he was in Sacramento, you probably know that yes, De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese Haliburton were decent sharing a backcourt together, but if we're gonna be honest, it really wasn't the best pairing for either of their liking. And what I mean by this can strictly be seen in the numbers. Because if we want to take a look at the 12 games this season that Tyrese Haliburton played without sharing a backcourt alongside De'Aaron Fox, you can see, at least for the most part, that his numbers quite considerably improve, especially in his playmaking. And I know some people are probably going to comment and be like, well yeah, his numbers are going to go up, especially when one of their other star players is not on the court. But numbers don't always do it justice, you guys. Just from the eye test, watching Tyrese Haliburton essentially lead an offense out there when he did in Sacramento, it was very promising to say the least, and it had many people thinking that Tyrese Haliburton was going to be the main cornerstone for that franchise. Well, I mean, he's going to be the cornerstone of a franchise, it just happens to be in Indiana. But even with having to share a backcourt alongside De'Aaron Fox this season, I want want to throw it out there that Tyrese Haliburton still has the 11th most assists in the entire NBA right now. And just the idea right now of having Tyrese be the main ball handler in an offense under a coach like Rick Carlisle is giving me goosebumps. Like, I'm not even a Pacers fan, and I can't begin to tell you how excited I am to watch this team. But when we're talking about the Indiana Pacers, aside from the newest addition in Tyrese, I feel like we need to shine some light on the very underrated rebuild the Indiana Pacers have already started. As for example, right alongside Tyrese in the backcourt, you've got an absolute stud in Chris Duarte, who is also another clear-cut rising star that many people outside of Pacer fans probably don't know much about. As so far in his rookie season, he's putting up numbers of around 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists per game. But like we just said with Tyrese, sometimes the core numbers don't tell the full story in terms of how effective of a player you actually are. And right after the Caris LeVert trade, I was seeing you Pacer fans everywhere talking about how the Chris Duarte era had officially begun. However, to the surprise of every Pacers and NBA fan in the world, the new Haliburton and Duarte era is officially underway. But even aside from these two just in particular, the entire future look of the Indiana Pacers is insanely bright right now, because they also have players like O'Shea Brissett and Isaiah Jackson who have definitely showed some promise in the games that they've played this season. And then, of course, you also can't forget about the first round picks this team has been stacking up, with one of them possibly being top 10 this very next draft. Pacers fans, I don't know how you did it, but you have seemed to pull off a miracle in the making. I, for one, am very excited to see what else this team has up their sleeve and what the future holds in Indy. But after giving my spiel on Tyrese and the Pacers, we're on to my favorite part of every video, which, as you know, is hearing what you guys have to think about the situation. So please let me know in the comments, what do you think the ceiling is for a player like Tyrese Haliburton? And on top of this, where do you see this Pacers team being with this backcourt in 4 to 5 years down the line? But also, again, if you haven't yet, don't forget to go down below and leave a like on the video if you did enjoy, and of course, subscribe while you're down there. I can't say it enough, you guys, brand new NBA videos every single week around here. Just trust me on this, you do not want to miss out. But on that note, I also wanted to say thank you so much to each and every one of you for watching. I appreciate all of you more than anything, you all know this, and I will see you guys in the next video.